So yeah, it's back to our Premier League discussion video, and this time we're giving all the best talking points pre the weekend games as usual, as we always do. And if you didn't watch our last video where we gave predictions for the weekend games, make sure to do that as well because we gave an in-depth prediction video where we gave our tips and how those games could turn out. But this video we're focusing more on the tactical part of the games and what we actually think these games could look like come the weekend. And first off, we're starting with no one else but Arsenal. You know, permit me to borrow a popular proverb or a popular saying where they say, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So I think that is what is synonymous with Arsenal right now. And this is coming in the wake of news that Kai Havertz is going to miss the rest of the season. And this comes after the fact that Gabriel Jesus is already going to miss the rest of the season as well. Saka is out injured. Now, Havertz is the latest on the treatment table. Victor, what as a neutral, what do you think Arsenal could do in terms of solutions in the absence of Havertz?
I think it's very hard to say at the moment. If you look at their squad, it's either Trossard as a false nine, Sterling and hope for the best, or an academy player. If you look at potential call-ups, so to speak, I think the only name worthy of discussion is Nathan Butler Oyedji.
Yeah,
Oyedeji.
yeah.
He's fast, he's technical, he's versatile, he can play across the front line, but it's also worrying. He's a 22-year-old who didn't manage to score in two loan spells at Accrington Stanley and Cheltenham. Is he really going to make an impact now in the run-in? Personally, I have serious doubts about that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I don't know if you guys can remember the kid that left Arsenal to United, Martin Chido. If you guys can remember, so this might have been a good time for him to shine. But now that he's no longer there, I think if Arsenal cannot manage to use either of Trossard or something, there is the possibility that Arsenal could go for free agents. But knowing Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal board, I'm 100% sure they won't do that. So yeah, it will be
Probably not.
interesting.
Also, there's not really that much to choose from in terms of free agents
Yeah, there's
at
not
the
that
moment.
much, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
there are
so
options at least. There's Maxi Gomez, there's Wissam Ben Yedder, there's Diego Costa, but all those guys are not of 30 already. So I don't think it counts for anything, to be fair. So yeah, I
yeah,
would rather Oyedeji than any of these guys. But we'll just have to see about that. And Victor, still with you. Moving away from Arsenal, let's move to the club Arsenal are trying to chase at the top of the table, which is Liverpool. Now, we're dwelling so much about the fact that Liverpool had a game in hand, and now they went on to play a 2-2 draw against Everton. A new found Everton, we must say. But do you think that result affects the title race in any way?
yeah, absolutely. Look, it could have been 9 points. It's only 7. Of course, it affects. I think it's still enough for Liverpool to not get caught. They have another 4 Premier League games now in quick succession,
Yeah.
and I think if they can get like 9, 10 points out of that, I think they'll be out of sight, especially with Arsenal's troubles at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Moving over to Aston Villa, Max. Aston Villa might have won against Spurs, I mean, in the FA Cup, but I mean, it's only Spurs. I don't think winning against Spurs these days is something to be happy about. But in the Premier League, they've sort of stumbled and, of late. Do you think they can maybe find their form against Ipswich?
yeah, of course they can, especially against Ipswich. While looking at their transfers this January, I guess that was the best team transfers for EPL teams. So at least on that tag, they're getting even stronger, I guess. even though they have a couple of players injured from attack. So against teams like Ipswich, yeah, they definitely can win.
Yeah, fair enough. And still with you, Max. I know that for about 2 to 3 weeks on this call, in all the episodes we've been doing, we've been talking about the fact that Nottingham Forest, whether we think they're a fluke or whether we think they're not, I think at this point we can all agree on this call that they are no fluke, at least. I mean, the jury is out there on whether they can sustain this form to the end of the season, but we can confirm that they are no fluke. Do you think they are still looking good for a top four finish?
Yeah, we could have thought about fluke, especially after 0-5 lose against Bournemouth, but when they destroyed Brighton 7-0, you can think about it again, and maybe confirm that they're not fluke team. So yeah, actually, I guess they can beat Fulham because they're actually good, let's say, on the road. They lost only against Bournemouth this game, and before that they won 4 games straight on the road. So it might be a good start for them to keep in top 4. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And
If I may interject here a
sure.
second, actually, I think the Fulham game won't be their biggest problem. It's what comes
Yeah.
after that. If you look at their upcoming fixtures, they've got Newcastle away, Arsenal, and then City both at home. Personally, I don't think they're going to get much out of those 3 games, but if they can get 5 or 6 points out of that, they might convince me that I might actually be wrong and they will be able to stay in the top 4.
Yeah, fair enough. And just on a final note, Victor, you know, it's been a long time since we saw the reigning champions struggle the way City are struggling at the moment. And if we take their Champions League result in midweek into account, they were leading 2-1 at the 85th minute, and they went on to lose that game. If by chance they maybe miss out on the top 4, Victor, what do you think happens to Guardiola?
Well, he did sign an extension just a couple of months ago. I really cannot see him getting sacked. They'll finish this season somehow. They'll probably win the FA Cup and then just do what they do best. They'll splash the cash in the summer and go again. But we also need to look at the 115 charges and take that into account. So I think the situation is still very much fluid with City.
And I think I agree with you. The situation is still very difficult, but it will be interesting to see whether City will be forced to, take drastic action if Guardiola maybe crashes out of the Champions League and misses out on the top 4. That will be interesting to see how things go. Anyways, that's all we have in today's video. It's been fun discussing footy ahead of the weekend. If you're watching this video and you're yet to like, share, don't forget to do that. And most importantly, leave a comment in the section below. Tell us what you think about the Liverpool draw with Everton. Does it affect the title race in any way? How can Arsenal survive with Kai Havertz's absence? And what happens to Guardiola if City miss out on top 4?